or whatever else, because it don't matter what you do, flip, cut, tuck, whatever. I say move on.
I don't know what the hell you said, but it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. The worst part of COVID-19, the Fetterman Hygiene Project's tour was canceled.
That's right. Remember when people were hoarding all that?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Couldn't find one anywhere.
No. They're very popular.
What you got there, Jim? A Pop-Tart? Yeah, all right.
Thumbs up. He loves his Pop. See, Jim's like me, though. He didn't toast it. I don't toast my Pop-Tarts.
You can't eat them raw. You will get salmonella.
No, you can eat them raw. They're better that way.
Terrible.
No, I don't want to wait, because then there's a chance they're going to get burnt in the toaster.
You cook all the vitamin content out when you toast them.
Right, exactly. They're healthy, and then you cook out the good stuff.
You've got to cook them.
No, because then you burn yourself on the interior filling.
It's not sushi, for God's sake.
It
is. It's fine.
It is literally, you have to time it to the split second to get it toasted just right. Otherwise, you scorch your frosting, and
it's
not,
terrible.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not. It's not. You don't want creme brulee on top. You want just the regular frosting.
I just bought a new toaster.
Oh, did you? How often do you use a toaster?
Well, I use a toaster.
Okay.
Why? Don't start on me with that.
I just want to know. I want to make sure it's a good purchase.
I make toast.
Let's not start attacking toast now. Toast is...
I can't tell you how many times I don't. Like maybe 3 times a year I use a toaster.
But I went to such a panic attack because you start reading reviews online.
Oh, yeah, that can go down.
You're talking about a $23 toaster or something. I have no idea why I spent so much time researching it.
Well, you got to make sure it's just right.
Toaster.
You got to make sure it's just right. That's a delicate balance. Because you burn the toast and it's over.
There was one on Amazon that they said, one of the reviews said, it aggressively ejects the toast and sometimes ends up on the floor.
Wow.
It's like, you know what? I kind of want that one.
I do want that one.
That.
That's a fun game. Just maybe catch it on a plate and see what happens.
An element of chance to your breakfast.
Yes.
I like that.
It was like $50, though. I'm not spending
no. That's why, because it's the ejector toast.
But you got to make sure, because I like sourdough toast, and sometimes the sourdough bread is a little wider than normal bread, so you got to make sure you have a toaster that can accommodate the wider slice of bread.
Bagels,
Yeah, that's true. I have for some reason I have the 4 slices I could put in at once. I have one of those toasters.
You don't even make toast.
I know.
Got a 4 toast slicer.
I have no idea why we have. I don't know why I have the 4 slice toaster. I don't know. There's only 2 of us in the house. I don't know anytime. That is excessive.
But if house guests ever drop by unexpectedly,
we're good to go.
I'll make toast.
Exactly. Let's do this.
I can whip up a stack in a jiffy. No problem. 4 at a time.
I have the means.
This episode of Happy
Toast
Homemaker with
Toast
Mike,
Talk.
Jim, and Johnny.
Let's talk toast.
Brought to you by
Saturdays at 6 a.m. on
It's the new
WMY.
show from 9 to 10 now on WMUY, to ease you into Dr. Asa.
Yes. He's going to tell you about fish oils. We'll tell you how good toast is. Also great start.
Someone has an opinion.
Oh, excellent.
Hi, you're on WMAY.
Hi, once upon a time, I won the Betty Crocker Homemaker of the Year award.
You did? What'd you do for that?
That was a very long time ago. And then they created stoves, and I lost the next year.
What was? I'm curious what the contest was consisted of.
Well, it wasn't so much a contest as it was a nomination and a write-up kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there was a test.
What was that like?
Who remembers? That was 55
Okay, you just remember that you won the award.
You're like, who cares? I won. That's all that matters. I aced that darn thing.
But I heard you talking about pop-up toasters. And one time I had a husband, once upon a time, and we had trouble electrically, and our electric blanket and our toaster was both on the fritz. So I worked one weekend and fixed them both. The only problem was just about the time we got warm, we popped out of bed.
Hey-o!
That was worth it. That was
totally worth it. Thank you, Lakia. That was excellent. Well done, Lakia. Well done.
Good times on a Friday.
Yes. Speaking of that, good times on a Friday, you know how we love our lists. And I happened upon this one. It's a very specific list. But it's also interests me because I do enjoy listening to music. I have a music background. So the top 10 80s movie soundtracks. This is according to loudersound.com. It's part of a music website that deals in rock music.
And,
so,
as I think of it, too, that does seem to be a lost phenomenon of a movie having a soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
Now, I don't know if it, I guess we all immediately think of John Hughes, who was masterful at how he used music in it. But I also kind of wonder did movies have soundtracks then because they needed filler, or because it was part of the story?
Well, I wonder too if movies back then, because remember in the 80s you had the advent of the music video, and if they felt like that was so popular, if I can put a song in and then just kind of almost have a mini music video within my movie, to your point, maybe filler, but it was very popular. Whereas MTV started to go away and the music video started to go away, you saw kind of less and less. Like nowadays, I feel like there's maybe one big song in a movie,
right,
and then the rest of it's just score. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it's just kind of background music. These are the top 10 80s movies soundtracks.
So I said John Hughes, I imagine.
Yeah, there
at least one or two were there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Pretty in Pink, that's a John Hughes one, right? Yep. That's on the list because that one obviously was actually born of a song. To be quite honest, with the Psychedelic Furs. Yeah, the Pretty in Pink tune. Then also you have Echo and the Bunnymen. You have Suzanne Vega. You have a bunch of other different ones on there. So that's why I say Pretty in Pink does make the list within the top 10. This is no particular order, by the way. So 629-7970, maybe the 80s movie soundtrack you like the most. An interesting one on here for me, because I don't know how many people actually have seen this movie. I own it on DVD, and I think it's a great choice. I don't think anyone would ever guess it, is Rock and Roll High School.
Oh, yeah.
Came out in 81. That's an entire movie just about the Ramones.
Right.
And it kind of launched the career of PJ Soul, I believe. She was in that one. But besides the Ramones, you also have Todd Rundgren on there.
Yeah.
You also have Alice
A lot came out of that. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Alice Cooper's Schools Out was on there as well. Obviously, Rock and Roll High School from the Ramones. Then there's the Blitzkrieg Bop, Teenage Lobotomy, California Sun, and Pinhead medley that they play at one point at the actual high school.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an underrated one that I don't think anyone would have got, but as a Ramones fan and a fan of that movie, Rock and Roll High School, well placed in this top 10 80s movie soundtracks of all time.
Kind of along the same lines. It was a movie that was kind of like to string a bunch of songs together. Heavy Metal, the movie Heavy Metal.
Oh, yeah, not on the list, though. Yeah. That was a weird movie.
That was a weird movie.
Yeah.
I remember happening upon that one time late at night on like Showtime when I was like, what is this? Like, it was just, I was like, I have not taken the right substances to enjoy this movie to its fullest.
Totally.
That's very good. Another interesting one, the movie that introduced, I think, Eric Stoltz and Mary Stuart Masterson, Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Makes the list.
Really?
Yeah. They said it because a lot of that came from underground UK bands such as Jesus and the Mary Chain, the March Violets. You had a bunch of other stuff. Also, there was a band called Lick the Tins who covered Can't Help Falling in Love on that soundtrack.
So this list is a bunch of music eggheads being all eclectic and like, ooh, look at us, we're so edgy.
Not really.
Lick the Tins.
Yeah, well, just that one's kind of one of the outliers. The rest of them kind of make sense.
That is very 80s, man.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here?
That is very 80s, though.
It's almost unrecognizable.
That's what I said. They're very decidedly Celtic approach to Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Johnny doesn't like
that is so weird.
Johnny doesn't like any part of that.
I thought I pulled up the wrong song. I couldn't figure it out.
That was the one they went to. So, Some Kind of Wonderful, which is an interesting, weird movie in and of itself.
Do they go with any that are just like, monster, huge, popular, every song on it, people like Footloose, for example?
Footloose doesn't make the list.
Okay, I'm out. I'm done.
Footloose does not make the list.
Man, we always think of the song Footloose, but when you think about all of the hits that came off of that soundtrack,
right,
it was enormous.
Yeah.
They do have a movie with Kenny Loggins involved in it, though, on the soundtrack.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
He pretty much owned the 80s.
In every type of soundtrack.
You are on WMAY.
Hello.
Hi. Yes.
Hey. Okay. Breakfast Club's got to be on your list.
That didn't make this list.
Another John Hughes movie.
Yeah, another
great.
John list, but that did not make this list.
Great
There's
soundtrack.
one that has such an iconic scene that goes along with music that's also on this list, too.
Hi, you're on WMAY.
What about Top Gun?
Show me Top Gun. Yes, that has a ton of them. Take My Breath Away. You also have Danger Zone, Playing with the Boy. I mean, the list goes on and on. So yeah, that was actually at the top of the list was Top Gun, and for obvious reasons. Excellent guess. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Did St. Elmo's Fire make it?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Didn't make this list, but you got to love what John Parr, wasn't that the guy?
Yeah.
Like that was his big hit.
Hi, you're on WMAY.
How about Fast Times Ridgemont High?
Show Me Fast Times Ridgemont High,
Yeah,
also on the list. Yeah, 19 tracks on that thing. Jackson Browne, Sammy Hagar, Stevie Nicks, the Go-Go's, and of course the Cars when Phoebe Cates is walking towards you. Yeah.
That's supposed to be a flute.
I was going to say, is that Zamfir?
Kenny Loggins, who on this very program,
we asked him about this song. This is the shirtless volleyball scene from Top Gun.
Which everybody points to and says, all right, that's a little close.
Yeah, little hinky there.
It doesn't look like sports.
No. Yeah.
But he denied.
He had this to say in the interview.
Yeah, there were no, what do they call it, homosexual overtones.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
What do you call it? What do you call that? When,
with the guys and the sweaty and
one guy
no shirt
and another guy and they're holding hands. What's that called there? I guess you call it
a homosexual undertones.
Yeah, there were no, what do they call it? Homosexual overtones intended in the undertones intended in the...
I love how he did both over and undertones.
It was neither under nor over.
Gotta cover all your tones there.
It was just...
Wasn't from behind, nothing.
It was just lately.
But I like in the music video that he made for Playing with the Boys, it's clearly a co-ed, lots of girls in short shorts and everything. It's like, let's make sure. Yeah, I want to further.
Top Gun took my wonderful song and then about female empowerment and gated up with Goose and Mav and Iceman all topless playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Who's the other? It was Slider was the other guy, right?
These ladies, though, with the nice feathered hair.
Oh, yeah. Nice slow. But that's terrible.
Yeah.
I guess it's it's guys against girls.
Yeah. But the girls are awesome.
Yeah, they're much better. And they're going to be real upset about this now. Wow. He really had to make sure he didn't want any around. He did not want any part of that, did he?
This is not gay.
It is not gay at all. Look, check it. You think it is? Watch my music video for it. Look what they did to my great song. By the way, the reason why we're talking about this is because we're on the topic of the top 10 80s movie soundtracks of all time from loudersound.com. And we'll get to that, more of that probably after the news, because right now we have 5 of the top 10. So think about it, 629-7970. We got Top Gun, which is what we're talking about right now. Fast Times at Ridgemont High also was on the list. Pretty in Pink, Rock and Roll High School, and Some Kind of Wonderful, which had that awesome version of Falling in Love by Lick the Tins. Should have known by the.
Also, no gay overtones on Lick the Tins.
Not
nothing at all.
Nothing with that. Know. Watch the music video. You'll see. Nothing wrong with Lick the Tins.
Totally heterosexual. Just want you to know. Hey, speaking of that, Jim.
Well, that's a great segue.
Do you miss me doing that to you every
day, guy? I can't
Does Murph not do that? Just
no.
lead you into something ridiculous?
No, he's a decent human being.
Just leave you hanging out there?
Never had that happen at all.
He never led you in with Kajagoogoo or anything?
Lick the Tins.
Yeah, speaking of Lick the Tins. Man. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This
was a good movie too.
It's a very good movie.
You know what? Yeah, it doesn't. It kind of gets lumped in with the '80s camp stuff, but it's actually a pretty good movie. Lost Boys.
And that's on the list of the top 10 '80s movie soundtracks of all time, according to loudersound.com. And The Lost Boys does make the list. And The Lost Boys was like the original emo soundtrack. Like, it was just dark and brooding and
the original
everything else
emo
going on.
vampires.
Yes, exactly. You had Cry Little Sister. We also had Echo and the Bunnymen on that one. The Doors, People Are Strange.
That's right.
Foreigners, Lou Gramm, Lost in Shadows.
That's a great soundtrack. I forgot about
Roger Daltrey does Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me in kind of a weird, awkward way. So, yeah, it is moody, it's emo, and it definitely deserves a place in the top 10. 629-7970. That is listener contact line. We're talking top 10 80s movie soundtracks of all time. We also have gone through Top Gun, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Lost Boys we just covered, Pretty in Pink also on the list, Rock and Roll High School, as well as Some Kind of Wonderful.
In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
God.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. This is probably one of the best uses. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Oh, God. Same here.
It's a terrible song.
Yeah, it's not a very good song.
But it's used perfectly in that movie.
Because
at the end.
Yeah. When you realize, spoiler alert, when you realize
Dale Griffiths is
Dale Griffiths, his wife has passed away. Like, Steve Martin's putting it all together in his mind. Like, he always talks about it, but he never called her. Yeah. We through all this. And then when he goes back and there's Dell just still standing there. Oh, yeah. Goosebumps. Like one of my favorite movies. Yeah. I think part of it because my dad was such a huge John Candy fan. But the fact that now it's going to be remade, too, by the way.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Kevin Hart and Will Smith are going to remake Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I'll reserve judgment.
Yeah, I'll see what happens.
But, yeah, I mean, I know, like on Thanksgiving, you're watching this movie and sobbing at this point.
Oh, God, yeah. I remember.
And he opens the door and his wife gives him a big hug.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It is.
Brutal.
I remember the first time I realized that my wife and the rest of my in-laws had never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We're sitting around on Thanksgiving and like, well, what should we watch? I'm like, well, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the quintessential Thanksgiving movie. And they all go, well, I've never seen it. And then that point comes up. Now, the rest of the soundtrack, I don't know what's on it, didn't make this top 10, but definitely like one of the quintessential movie moments from the 80s.
You are on WMAY.
And this is so much better than talking about COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no kidding.
Can I take Little Shop of Horrors?
Did not make the list. Great soundtrack, but did not make the list for the top 80 top 80s movie soundtracks.
Thanks.
Good guess, though.
I guess the theme here. I mean, that was a soundtrack to a musical, as opposed to these are songs that have been attached to movies.
Yeah, these are movie soundtracks, full movie soundtracks. So far, like I said, we got Top Gun, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Lost Boys, Pretty in Pink, Rock and Roll High School, and Some Kind of Wonderful. One obscure one I don't think anyone's going to get, and it's a movie that is like a cult classic. Is the movie Repo Man with Emilio Estevez?
Oh yeah.
And that soundtrack was like basically early 80s hardcore. Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies, Circle Jerks, Iggy Pop had the actual title track. So that's a pretty darn good soundtrack. But I don't know how many people would actually have chosen that one.
Is this one on here at all? Okay, nerds. The Revenge of the Nerds?
No, but I do love Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds. There was this, and then there was the actual song they performed. That's all I remember.
Oh, I thought that's what this was. Yeah, you're right. No, this is the theme.
No, the that's the best part of Revenge of the Nerds. Yes, here it is. Somewhere, I don't know if it still exists, there is me and my sister singing this into a recorder from back when we were younger. We knew all the words, and we even did the like it was impressive. I hope someone still has that. I hope my sister still has that audio tape.
That's amazing.
If I ever find it, I'll have to play it.
It's booger.
Yeah, did not make the list. Another obscure one, but it had a really good soundtrack. Was Less Than Zero. The movie Less Than Zero. James Spader is in that one. And that one had the Bangles covering Hazy Shade of Winter.
Oh, yeah.
It also had Slayer's take on Iron Butterfly's In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. And Roy Orbison offers an interpretation of Glenn Danzig's Life Fades Away on that soundtrack. So that also made the top 10.
629-7970. You are on WMAY.
Hi, how about Vision Quest?
Vision Quest did not make this top 10 list. And I don't even know who's on the Vision Quest soundtrack.
I know there's a song by Journey, I think.
Okay.
That's the wrestling movie or the wrestler.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
High school wrestler. Huh.
Yeah. Did not make the list. Appreciate the phone call, though. Thank you. 629-79.
Bye-bye.
629-7970. Call in maybe your favorite 80s movie soundtrack. That didn't make the list.
It's not an 80s song, but or an 80s movie for that matter. But it is it's the only thing Ben Stiller has done good on the planet. Is he found a cassette of Lisa Loeb and the 9 Stories.
Yeah.
And used it in Reality Bites.
That was what, 92?
It was early 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Let me look here. Okay.
I want to say that was like 91, 92, so just outside the 80s.
Yeah. But
we know your love of an affinity, at least a
would you
love.
look how cute she is there? Good Lord
She
almighty.
she was a hipster girl before the hipster girl was cool.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe one that people are one that people are missing because when you think 80s movies and trying to win over a woman, there's a certain scene that everyone immediately goes to.
All right, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hi, you're on WMAY.
How about Flashdance?
Ooh,
yeah.
Wow.
That's another one that was just full of hits.
Yeah, it didn't make this list.
Michael Sembello?
Yeah, exactly. Maniac, man. That didn't make this list. But I do remember, funny story about Flashdance. I remember my parents renting it, and me and my sister had to go in our rooms because that was an adult
It was a naughty movie.
Yeah, it was a naughty movie. I couldn't watch that. We had to go to the bedrooms. So.
Oh, yeah.
My brother-in-law bought the film, Flashdance, on beta.
Wow.
And that's where I first saw some breasts.
Flashdance, some Jennifer Beals.
Yeah. Damn. Hi, you're on WMAY.
What about Highlander and Queen?
Oh, that's right. Queen did a bunch of soundtracks where you go, because they had Flash Gordon, too, and they did that one, but did not make this top 10. But that's a good call. You forget about Queen doing all those other different weird soundtracks. Did you find the one that I was kind of giving the big hints on?
I imagine it has to be... Oh, shit.
No, not this. That's a 2000s rom-com.
I grabbed the wrong one. I'm sorry.
What are you doing? You ruined it. We had it all built up, and then you played that crap from, like, Notting Hill. Yes, this is it.
Sorry, I can't believe I pushed the wrong button.
Say Anything.
Say Anything.
Makes the list. And obvious, whenever you think of trying to win over a woman, you just think of Lloyd Dobler with his giant boombox sitting outside Ione Sky's window playing this song.
And I bought into this crap.
Oh, we all did.
That would work.
Well, it's so funny you say that because the first time I went to go visit my wife, we were dating at the time. She was in college in Arkansas. And her boyfriend asked me, he's like, hey, do you have a Clash t-shirt? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, could you bring that? He's like, because it was for Valentine's Day. Right. And he's like, I want to reenact the Say Anything theme. So that song, crank it up. So that song, he's down in the parking lot outside their apartment, right? He's got my Clash t-shirt on. He's got a boombox, and he's cranking that up.
Yeah. Go get a hose and make it rain.
Yeah. At that point, my wife Jen's friend Brandy comes out and goes, who's playing Phil Collins in the parking lot? And I'm like, it's totally ruined.
Oh, that killed it.
Yeah, it killed it. And I was like, Phil, and she looks down, she's like, I don't even like Phil. And it's like, it's Peter Gabriel. Like, oh, yeah. Ooh. So this grand romantic gesture. But yeah, we all do that.
9:51, time to go to call.
Before we get to that, do you just want to get the last one in here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the last one on the list was Purple Rain. For obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. I mean, so many big hits for Prince there. Oh, yeah.
That's a little much.
Setting the soundtrack for your Friday. Hit that beat.
Crunk.
Hit that beat. Getting lit. AF, yo.
All right.
We're hip with the kids. Yeah. Sorry about that. 629-7970 is the listener contact line. Oh.
We're talking about popcorn, right?
That's right.
This is a song called
Popcorn. Oh, God. Buttered Popcorn?
By Hot Butter was the name of it.
Oh, Hot Butter. Okay. Yeah. My friend hates this song.
They used to read this behind the lottery numbers.
That's right. They did. I remember that now. But anyway.
7,
9,
4. Again.
You picked 3 today.
7, 9, 4.
Did you box it? Then it could be 497. If you played 497, you won it. Yikes. Anyway, long story short, apparently a new study has come out that the purchasing of microwave popcorn has gone up 40 to 50% during the pandemic because people are missing out on the movie theater popcorn, which doesn't make sense because microwave popcorn is disgusting compared to movie theater popcorn.
Man, microwave popcorn is a last resort.
Yeah, it's awful.
I've never had any.
I'd rather buy the pre-bagged popcorn that you can buy in the store, like the white cheddar smart food popcorn, than try to make microwave popcorn. It's terrible. It's dry. It's gross. You cook it a little too long, and the next thing you know, you're smoking out your entire house.
I like making popcorn on the stovetop. It's fun to watch.
Do people still do that?
I just said I did.
Well, you do, but I mean, do other people do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume.
Because I remember the first time my encounter with Jiffy Pop, which had a great slogan, by the way. They had that great Jiffy Pop popcorn is fresh pop popcorn. I remember the first time my grandpa did that, and it was like, oh my God, look at that! It's popping, and you see it expanding. You're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's hard to. Jiffy Pop is hard to master, though. It's real easy to burn Jiffy Pop.
Oh, easy, yeah, even more so than microwave popcorn. Yeah. So I
don't know why. Yeah, if you're missing movie popcorn, make some popcorn.
Yeah, make some real popcorn,
like they did on the Frontier.
Exactly, and then melt some butter and pour that over it instead of making this terrible microwave popcorn. Gross. People are disgusting.
All right, Dr. Asa is going to tell you what kind of supplements to eat to clean your colon, or I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Clean you out, make you regular.
Yeah, that's coming up next. And we'll be back in again on Monday and Tuesday, filling in for Murph here on WMAY. Have a lovely weekend.